Hello. I wanted to talk about something real quick before I go to sleep. I've been going through something that I think a lot of people might relate to. A lot of people my age might relate to. Because I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed by a lot of things. Well, not overwhelmed, but more like I'm beating myself up or I'm bullying myself because I feel like I'm in a period right now where I have to think about a lot of things and I have to figure out a lot of things where I have to do well in college and make a plan for the future and stick to that plan, take steps in building life. And I find myself always feeling overwhelmed because of those thoughts. A year ago, or maybe a little more, I took it upon myself that I would delete all social media except YouTube and focus more on myself, because at that time I've developed a addiction not only to reels and TikToks and all that great stuff, but just addiction to being numb to everything except entertainment, probably. And as I said, I took it upon myself that I would delete all social media and stop with this shitty addiction. I've slowly gotten back to the same bad habits that I had, but in a way where I was deceiving myself, kind of. But I've noticed that, and I was trying to avoid that by a lot of ways. And whenever I find myself indulging more in the same bad habits that I used to have, I tend to take a step back and realize and diagnose that problem and realize why it exists, or why am I going back to the same bad habits. And this last period I've been going through the same thing. It's basically I'm just escaping from everything. And I was trying to figure out why. Why am I like this? What am I escaping from? Why am I avoiding working towards something? Now, working towards something is tricky to think about because, and I'm talking for myself. This is all my experience. I'm not saying anything anecdotal or something. But for me, what give for the past like 8 or 9 months, the kind of work that gave meaning for me was YouTube videos, and I love it. But it always comes this period since I started where it's finals right now, and that naturally makes me not upload as much as I would like to. So that gives me a lot of doubt in my ability to continue to make videos, and a lot of I don't know how to say it, but there's always this period where I just feel less of myself, and I try to avoid it. And I think that where the addiction comes back. I don't want to see. I don't want to make it seem like it's like a heroin addiction or something. I'm talking about like TikTok addiction. It's not that deep, but it's just you know what I mean. So to not stray away from what I was trying to say, when I notice that I'm like crawling back into those bad habits, I feel less of myself. And that's what I want to talk about today. Because when I start feeling less of myself, that spirals down to beating myself up more and more and basically hating myself for anything remotely bad I do. And what I'm trying to say is beating myself up was never a good solution. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I guess what I'm trying to say is this attitude of beating myself up for anything negative that happens in my life has had a toll on my mental health, and it increases every day. And I'm saying all this because I think I make videos like this. I mean, I love it, but my thoughts are like scrambled eggs. If you take a couple of eggs and you throw them in the pan and they're like scrambled eggs, those are my thoughts. So I have to write them. So every time I make a video like this, I record for like 30 minutes and it all boils down to like 3 minutes of me saying what I want to say. So what I'm trying to say is it has not been good for me to beat myself up for feeling bad, or for not holding myself up to the standards that I have. And what's worked for me is realizing that and then consciously avoiding it and trying not to do that, trying not to be toxic to myself, if that makes sense. And what I'm trying to say is don't beat yourself up, because at the end of the day, you only got yourself, and it's not good, and it's not good. And what should be done, and what I should do, and I try to do this, is realizing where I'm wrong, or what I'm doing wrong, or why am I feeling a certain way, and then taking steps to not do that, or taking steps in the right direction. But that doesn't mean that I should take steps in the right direction by beating myself up. I don't know if you get any fucking thing I'm saying. What I'm trying to say is don't beat yourself up. It's bad. Instead, focus on being better without being bitter. Yeah, that's good. That's wise. And yeah, I should go to sleep now. So thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you probably tomorrow. Goodbye.